Hello everybody, I am Luigi here, and I'm from the Maxi Toys, as you guys should know me at this point in time. Now, last time on the video game collection video, that Sonic did actually show off the Nintendo 3DS games, and today, for this session's episode, that we're about to be showing off how many DS games we've got. So, this is going to be our Nintendo DS game collection. So yeah, so as you can see, we got ourselves a DSi, if you guys know, on the console video. So we had this since about, I don't know, like 7 years from now on. So at least let us guys know in the comments below if we'll actually show off the DSi World collection as well. So even then, it might actually count for like DS or I don't know. But hey, at least we'll actually just get this thing started. So Nintendo DS, it was really a really popular Nintendo system back in 2004 in North America, and a year later in Europe. In the European release date, it was 2005 on March the 11th. So since the Nintendo DS was actually launched in Europe in 2005, it was almost roughly 11 years. So 11 years since this thing was released. So yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning that. So and yeah, so let's get this thing the game started then, shall we? Much like the Nintendo 3DS, we had a whole bunch of DS games. I mean, literally a whole bunch of them. And yes, much like last time, that we'll be able to be doing this on the alphabetical order because you know Maxi Times kind of sucks though. But let's not talk about any about that. But anyway, enjoy the show, guys. So yeah, let's get started with the first game. So let's start with Big Brain Academy. Now, this was basically a DS version of the Big Brain Academy. I really enjoyed this game in my own time. I mean, clearly it's because I just do some little tests and all that, and then yeah, I had a lot of fun with this thing. And yes, this game also managed to re-release that on Nintendo Wii U's Virtual Console version, so you might as well mention that. And yeah, there's also the Wii version on this called Big Brain Academy for the Wii, which we'll get into that at some point in the future for a video game collection video at some point. But yeah, I quite enjoy this actually. It's pretty fun for the Nintendo DS game. Next up, Combat of Giant Dragons. I haven't played this for flipping donkey's ears. I mean, literally, the only point I got into is almost near the end of the game, as a matter of fact. But for what I've played this on the demo back in 2009, I actually pretty enjoyed this actually. And then yeah, this game was being developed and published by Ubisoft, so you guys should know this already. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, but the only problem is just I haven't played this for ages. So yeah, must get back into that. But before I played it, it's nice and quite fun. Next up, Diddy Kong Racing DX. And yeah, I apologize for the little ripped cover art right there, but that was a long story. But anyway, so Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo DS. It's basically a remade version of the Nintendo 64 game Diddy Kong Racing. That's what simply called it in the N64 version. And the DS version actually has extra contents like new levels, characters, custom track editor, and personal icon, and more. So, and there's also the Rumble Pack that it only works on the DS Lite or something like that. Yeah, I quite enjoyed that actually, even though I've recently completed the whole main quest of the game. Well, mostly Adventure 1, including Adventure 2 as well. And while I've played it and completed the game, I actually really enjoyed it. And even then, that I've got the N64 version on this as well. But again, we'll get into that in a minute until at some point. Yeah, I should definitely recommend that. But the bad thing, my only gripe with the game as far as this is concerned is that there's no way that we can actually select Banjo in this game because Banjo is now moving on to Microsoft department. But that's kind of disappointing. But unless Banjo-Kazooie on Nintendo 64 and the Xbox Live Arcade version is simply masterful. But hey, at least that's all that matters. And also, I do not like the fact that the stylus part where you have to speed up your tire, and then basically you have to do this a lot, especially if you want to actually do a starting point. But I digress though. Next up, Disney's The Princess and the Frog. And yeah, if you guys know all about this, because usually back in 2013, yeah, I think it's 2013, that Piglet and Twilight Sparkle did a playthrough on this. But what we've noticed that we actually get a lot of views on the first part of this playthrough. I don't know why, but I think that's probably because anyone did not notice this. So yeah, if you guys want to check that playthrough on that. Next up, Dragon Ball Origins, and as you can see, this is the only American game I've got. So because of this, I like the way how it does the black case on here. I think it's also same applies to the Japanese game covers as well. So yeah, pretty different for my liking, and it's quite similar size as the 3DS game case, but not white case, but black case. Kind of like that. But yeah, as far as when this game is concerned, I haven't exactly played this for donkey's years, just like the combat of giant dragons. But I think my biggest complaint I have with it is just that it's a top-down beat-em-up game, and I'm thinking that this game is only applies to stylus minigames or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure. But at least what I've noticed that I haven't exactly completed it, and plus I haven't touched it in ages, so at least that goes back in 2010 for a Cypress trip, so that's kind of nice, but it's nice to add it to my collection, I think. Next up, another brain, some sort of puzzle-solving game, but rather than Big Brain Academy again, but this time it's Dr. Kirishima, Brain Trading, How Old Is Your Brain? And yes, yeah, much like a Big Brain Academy, I quite enjoy this, and it's pretty nice to chill out with, especially consist of this game. And then, it's pretty nice to see how Dr. Kirishima makes an appearance in the actual Nintendo game. Yes, that's also the same applies to he's actually become an instant trophy, or assist trophy, on the Super Smash Bros. 4, which is really awesome, you kind of think about it. But then, yeah, I quite enjoyed it, actually. This game is also known as the Brain Age 1, if you guys lived in North America. Next up, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. And yes, I've recently completed this long time ago, and then for what I found constantly playing this, I actually quite enjoyed it. Even though there's some Kingdom Hearts fans out there saying that this game is quite tedious when it comes to gameplay, because all you're literally trying to do is just basically the whole entire premise of this game is basically mission objectives, but usually it's stuff up like killing all sorts of enemies, collect certain objects as you can, and some more defeating bosses and etc. And that's all that applies to this game. But as far as with the actual storyline, as far as the Kingdom Hearts series is concerned, I think this installment of the Kingdom Hearts storyline is definitely the most interesting of all the Kingdom Hearts stories we've been into. But even then, the story plot line, or the timeline, is consist of after the Chain of Memories and before Kingdom Hearts 2. So that's why it explains how mythology, the chronological order for the storyline is concerned. But I quite enjoy that, but I haven't completed everything just yet, though. Speaking of another Kingdom Hearts game, Kingdom Hearts Recoded! And yes, yes, another Kingdom Hearts game on the DS. Now, of all the Kingdom Hearts games I've played, I think this one is predictably is my least favorite of them. I mean, it's not a bad game by any means. It's not like Chain of Memories or something like that. I think Chain of Memories will probably is my least favorite of the Kingdom Hearts series. So this one might be my second least. But the gameplay itself is still fun, though. It's got this little command system since Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and I think the storyline, as far as this is concerned, takes place before or after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm pretty sure before Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. So I just want to mention that. So my only gripe with the game is the story. So even then, it's kind of a bit of more like a complicated process. But hey, at least I enjoyed this. But at least I beat the game now. So at least I've quite enjoyed it. Next up, Kirby Mouse Attack for the Nintendo DS, and this game is also known as Kirby Squeak Squad if you guys lived in North America. Yeah, I really enjoyed this actually. It's a more Kirby platforming fun in genre in my opinion, and I really love how the fact that some more abilities have been come through. Like my favorite would have to be the animal because you have to dig through the dirt, which does feel kind of nice and kind of think about it. Way awesome from the look of it and quite cute. And yes, this game is also being re-released on the Wii U's eShop Virtual Console version, much like the Big Brain Academy and Dr. Sorry, I can't speak today. Dr. Karishima's Brain Trading, even though I haven't mentioned this to you before. But hey, at least I enjoyed that actually. I might actually do a playthrough on this sometime, so I definitely will going to do a playthrough on that. So yeah, definitely recommended that. Also, I have another Kirby game, Kirby Superstar Ultra, and this was based off the remake of Kirby's Fun Pack for the Super Nintendo, also known as Kirby Superstar if you guys lived in North America for the Super Nintendo version. And the only differences between the two is, of course, more content than the ones in the Super Nintendo version. I really enjoyed this. Definitely one of my favorite versions of Kirby's Fun Pack, or Kirby Superstar, if you depends on what you might call it. And I haven't exactly completed the whole game just yet, but we'll get back into it at some point. But yeah, definitely recommended that. I really love this little holographic shiny cover on there. It's pretty cool and quite sweet at the same time. And also, I'm looking forward to Kirby Robobot, if you guys know, on the 3DS game collection video. Next up, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. And yes, as far as you guys should know, that I've recently completed this game, about, like, a few years from now. So, yeah, for what I've played this game, I actually quite enjoyed it. And then, yeah, I really like the fact that Linebacker was actually pretty hilarious in the game. So yeah, if those of you actually become a Zelda fanboy, you should definitely recommend it. But hey, at least it's pretty nice to add it to your collection. So yeah, I recently completed that, so I think it's really awesome. Next up, another Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. And for what I've got into, I think I was on the halfway point of this game has to offer. The only point I've actually got into, it was actually on the Fire Sanctuary, which I definitely need to get to it. But then, much like Phantom Hourglass, I've actually really enjoyed this, actually. Even then, that blowing the microphone can be a bit of a tiresome for me, especially whenever I was trying to go use the whirlwind or the blowwind, and as well as the pan flute. But apart from that though, it's basically pretty much Phantom Hourglass, except new items and different gameplay aspect. Even though the gameplay itself is pretty much exactly the same, but hey, should definitely recommend it. It's pretty nice though. I heard from a lot of people seem to think that this was basically based off of Thomas the Tank Engine, if I remembered it rightly. But that's just what some things out there I was actually thinking of. But anyway, Mario Kart DS. Of all the Mario Kart games I have actually played on the handheld department, this was actually probably one of my favorites of all the handheld Mario Karts. Because I really enjoyed how the course is actually laid out, including the introduction to the returning tracks, like mostly the retro tracks. And as far as when this is concerned, I actually really enjoyed this actually. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is also being re-released on the Wii U's eShop download version, even though this is the same applies to Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks if you guys lived in Europe. And I think I might actually, or some toys out there might actually do a remake playthrough on this so that they can actually do their opinions of the game, so that yeah, they might as well just do that. So yeah, definitely recommend it if you actually have a DS. And by the way, the Mario Kart DS was the first DS game I've ever got, because I did got this with the original 2005 DS model, so yeah, definitely recommend it. Alright, next up, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Everyone seems to love this game, especially noticeable when it was like pretty cool for that liking. But yeah, this was actually probably one of my favorites of the Mario and Luigi RPG series, because you have the ability to actually switch between taking a note from the Dream World from Mario and Luigi Dream Team Brothers and Paper Mario from Paper Jam Brothers. You can actually play as like two different segments, like even though it's mostly similar to Dream World from Dream Team Brothers, that you actually have between Mario and Luigi is playable, and also Bowser is playable, which I think is really, really awesome. Especially noticeable since Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars on the Super Nintendo. But I digress though. Yeah, I seem to have completed this, but haven't exactly complete everything yet. I mean, the only point I have to get is the final ranking on the Bowser rank, which I'll definitely do on my own time. I think my main gripe, although not my main gripe, it's just my only thing about it is just that I have to constantly gain those experience points for Bowser. But the only bothering about for me anyway is that Bowser's way too overpowered. But hey, at least it's pretty fun. So, yeah, I should definitely recommend it. Speaking of another Mario and Luigi RPG game, Jesus, like 4 of those at this point where we just show up. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time! Oh yes, it's my childhood for this game. And then, I really like how I really enjoyed how you can actually play as Baby Mario and Baby Luigi simultaneously. Well, if you actually, pick up Mario and Luigi for that piggyback ride. But, hey, at least it's pretty cool nonetheless, though. And yes, this game is also known as in Japan called Mario & Luigi RPG 2x2. Yeah, there's also the same applies. I haven't mentioned this to you about the Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, which was called Mario & Luigi RPG 3. But I digress, though. Enough about that topic. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this actually, and this game was also being released on the Wii U's eShop download. So yeah, definitely recommended that if you want to do the actual playthrough on there. I think I might actually do that at some point. Next up, Mario Party DS, and some people consider that this was definitely much better experience on the Mario Party handheld department, which because of that, Mario Party fans out there seem to think that they miss the old days, like grabbing stars and collecting coins and all that such, because they're now moving on to a different direction. But hey, at least this game's not too bad though. At least it has some shorter amount of boards, even though they have 5 exact boards, just like Mario Party 10, but we'll get into the Wii U collection at some point. But I actually really enjoyed this actually. I pretty had a lot of fun with the mini games, the board layouts, even though it doesn't have as many characters, like it has like 8, but at least that's fine. Well, despite the fact that I just wish it has, I think it's probably because of the limitations of the handheld. But, yeah, I still really enjoy that, and I really, really love the soundtrack of this game. That probably one of the most chilling, relaxful Mario Party soundtrack I've ever heard in Mario Party history. But, yeah, I should definitely recommend it. Next up, Mario Slam Basketball, and this game is also known as Mario Hoops 3-on-3 for North America. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this game will actually be re-released on the Wii U's Virtual Console at some point, but for some reason, no sign of it whatsoever. But, as far as when I go into this game, I pretty much stuck on the Star Cup, basically, because my only gripe with the game is the fact the AI is so tough. Like, take Bowser, for example. Yeah, I'm watching you, you idiot. You should know why I'm known for you, Bowser. But anyway, as far as his gameplay is concerned, I kind of like it, but the only trouble is that I haven't exactly, that's pretty hard to learn and pretty difficult to master it. But even then, that Bowser's Castle was just a nightmare to get through. But apart from those side of things, I do like this game. But I really enjoyed that. I really do like the fact that the Square Enix has actually joined in with the Nintendo department. The thing is, it's because of the Dragon Quest or the Final Fantasy characters have been joined in, which I think I really enjoyed that for the most part. But yeah, should definitely, even though you might just simply rent it if you want to give this one a try, but if you didn't like it, then you should just, Anyway, next up, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the one that started it all back in 2007 on the Wii, and a year later in 2008. And this was basically a Beijing 2008. That also takes place in China. So yeah, I pretty enjoyed this actually, even though that the only gripe I have with it is just there's a lot of control methods, like for instance the stylus control minigames, and some of the time that even though it might just be a bit of a tiresome at points, but even then I don't exactly have too much to complain. But this was basically based off the Wii U version of the game, which the only difference is that it has some different amount of events. But the Wii version does have shorter amount of dream events, whereas this version has even more dream events than the Wii version. So yeah, if you're a Mario and Sonic fan, you should definitely go ahead and just give this one a shot. So more power to you. Next up, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. The Vancouver 2010 takes place in Canada. So as far as when this game is concerned, I quite enjoyed it, much like the original Olympic Games. But then I suddenly started to realize that how the Wii version actually has some more fun to it than that. But this game is actually pretty interesting to see how it actually has the Adventure Tours mode, basically a story mode of the game, where you basically go around in the towns and all that. But my only gripe with the game so far, as far as what I've noticed, is the goddamn ending in this game. Like, there's this final point when you're actually trying to fight against or trying to compete against Dr. Eggman and Bowser. Even though I don't have many gripes with the first match, but the second match, oh my god, they are flipping ridiculously cheap. I mean, literally. That's what I've noticed that Command J642 won't actually point that out. That these two are freaking hard. Like, they're pretty much the rubber banding AI of the game. Like, you have to use the stylus in the ice hockey minigame, which does tend to buggy me at points, but at the same time, whenever I got into that point, I was so raged and I was like super mad. But apart from that though, I actually really enjoyed it. It's just that back in the day. Next up, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 Minis, no, not Minis March on the game, March of the Minis. And yes, as far as when the game is suggestions, that it's basically different from Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance, because usually in that game, it's basically a platforming game, but in this game, as far as the later series is concerned, it's basically more like a puzzle game or something like that, and guiding the mini Marios to the goal. And for what I've played it, I pretty enjoyed it for the most part though, but I haven't exactly completed the whole game yet. But yeah, this game is also being re-released on the Wii U's eShop download, so if you want to get that, then more power to you. Next up, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. And as far as when the series is concerned, I'm pretty much stuck with these games here, because as far as the latest Mario vs. Donkey Kong games are concerned, I'm pretty much done with the series for now on, because even then, this game's not too bad though. It does have some new elements to the mix, like this little you know, the platforms that you can actually put on with. And there's also some other parts in there too, but yeah, like conveyor belts, pipes, and mostly the ladders in the later levels. But yeah, I kind of like that actually. But it also brings those things back in Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars on the Wii U and the 3DS. But yeah, yeah, you might actually give this one a chance. And then as far as I played it, I really enjoyed it. But then it gets even ridiculously hard, especially in the plus mode. I'm gonna move that DS on the side there. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me just get the, move that up so that we can actually pile some next DS games on our disposal. So we're practically almost halfway there, but somehow we're almost at 33 minutes, or 23 minutes as far as this is concerned. But at least if you like this video, then you should probably smash that like button, and you can go ahead and subscribe on our channel. But anyway, now as far as you do know that I've got brain training, I also have more brain training from Dr. Karashima. How old is your brain? If I just said this same description. Yeah, much like the original brain training, really enjoyed it. But the only difference is that it gets even more different amount of tasks. But then, yeah, I quite enjoyed it actually. Kind of wish how this actually being managed to get re-released on the Wii U's eShop download. And this game has also been known as Brain Age 2 in North America. Next up, My Wet Coach. I don't know why. I actually got this for just about for curiosity for a sec, but at least I just want to add this to my collection. I don't know why. Also, New Super Mario Brothers. for the Nintendo DS. Yeah, you guys know about this game because Mickey actually did a remake playthrough on this on the Wii U's eShop Virtual Console version of the game. So you guys should know about this game. So don't need to ask why about that. Really enjoyed that actually. Also, I have Rayman Raving Rabbids for the Nintendo DS. Yes, I don't have the Wii version of the game. It's probably because, well, excuse me, that the DS version is actually a lot different than the other console versions of the game, even though it feels quite similar to the Game Boy Advance counterpart, but it's basically just a platforming game, but with touchscreen controls and all that, mostly for the on-rail segments right here. And there's also a bunch of mini-games in here and there, but yeah, this is as far as can be chooses. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it, but the graphics in the game do look awfully modified from the DS game, and as far as the music is concerned, ugh, crikey, man. But still, I quite like it. Also, I have sight training. Enjoy exercising and relaxing your eyes. Basically, it's the eye sight training version of brain training, so don't need to complain about that. But basically, I just really enjoy this actually, so yeah, don't need to comment on that. Now, for the Sonic games on Nintendo DS. First up, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. To be honest, this version, it's kind of okay. I mean, I prefer the Xbox 360 version even a bit more because of the smoother frame rate, and also the visuals do look much nicer in the 360 version, but in here, it's just more likely a PlayStation 2 style of visuals. But, and also not to mention that the goddamn AI in the game, oh my god. Jesus Christ, AI, seriously, you need to actually just slow down a bit. And then, plus, it might actually catch up to you at points, but it kind of reminds me of something related to, like, the Mario Kart Wii's item system, especially the Mario Kart 64's rubber banding or the unfair AI at that point. But apart from that, though, it's okay. At least I prefer the console versions of the game, much like the Transformed on the 3DS. Alright, Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood. Some Sonic fanboys may know that they seem to do not like this game at all. First of all, the stylus controls kind of ruined it, and the power moves is quite sucky at points. And the worst offender about the game is the music. Oh dear, what happened to the music? I mean, take for instance in the city level. That it's basically, it has the soundtrack. It's very similar to the Diamond Dust music from Sonic 3D Fleeky's Island, and heck, even the Sonic 3 final boss theme, and it just ruins it. But apart from that, though, for what I played this on my own time back in 2008, I kind of enjoyed it, though for the most part. But sometimes the power moves can be a little bit downgrading for me. But apart from those things, I seem to kind of like it, though. A bit. But it gets even a bit better on the Sonic games department, for me anyway. Sonic Classic Collection for the Nintendo DS. And this is basically sort of similar to Sonic and Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo, but just with Sonic games. And also not to mention Sonic Jam on the Sega Saturn as well. So if you want to count that. But as far as when this compilations is concerned, I kind of enjoyed it, even though it does have a bit of problematic, like the emulation is kind of not nearly as perfect as before, but it's just that the only thing about it is just that the screen is constantly shifting, and then it goes and also not to mention, take the speed shoes item for example, that basically, if you're trying to attain the speed shoes, the music pitch just starts to increase a little bit. But yeah, apart from that though, I really enjoy it. So yeah, don't need to ask me about that. Oh, mamma mia, my legs are killing me. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's continue. Sonic Colors from the Nintendo DS, and this was basically pretty much Sonic Rush 3, but I'll explain about more on that when we actually show the back cover of the game. But yeah, it's pretty good actually, for what I remember. It's basically, yeah, this game was very similar to Sonic Rush 1, and especially Sonic Rush Adventure, which I'll get into in just a minute. But yeah, I really enjoyed this actually, and then it does have some two exclusive colors. You go like the red wisp and the violet wisp, which actually sucks everything up. But even though literally sucks all of the items. So yeah, really enjoyed it actually. It does get some pretty difficulty wrap up though when it comes to getting some S ranks and all that. But apart from that though, it's pretty nice. Speaking of Sonic Rush, Sonic Rush for the Nintendo DS. Best Sonic game ever, 92% by Nintendo Official Magazine. Well, usually from 2005 anyway. Yeah, we enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite Sonic games on the Nintendo DS. You know, like the wacky levels, and as well as some interesting departments where you go through two screens to another. It's really impressive, actually. And also, actually, introduction to Blaze the Cat here, which is pretty fantastic. But even then, in Sonic 06, it kind of messed her up in that game when it comes to story on Sonic 06. But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I kind of wish that this will make it the Wii U's eShop eventually. Sonic Rush Adventure, and this also has 92% by Game Award, Nintendo Official Magazine, from 2007. So yeah, much like Sonic Rush, I really enjoyed it, and then not much to talk about. It's basically the first game, but with sailing through seas and all that kinds of stuff, and then also, my only gripe with the game is Marina Raccoon. Jesus Christ, she is so annoying in that game. But apart from her, this game is awesome. That's all I can say about this. Alright, since we're almost done with the games, so let's get this thing over with. So, here we go. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob's Truth or Square, and this is the DS version I've got. I haven't owned too many SpongeBob games. I mean, the only three I've got is the Battle of the Bikini Bottom on the PlayStation 2, and as well as SpongeBob SquarePants movie for the Game Boy Advance. So, yeah, for what I've played it, it's alright. I mean, the graphics itself, it's a bit alright. It does feel a bit rough around the edges in terms of how the DS's hardware is concerned, but even then, I kind of like it. So, yeah, not much to talk about. Even then, that the special version of SpongeBob's Truth or Square, as far as one of the actual TV program, it's probably is my second least favorite episode, next to Athlete Square Panthers. So I don't need to explain about that. Anyways, next up, Super Princess Peach. Yes, Princess Peach has her own game, which is kind of surprising. And then it's really, I kind of like it. It does sort of like a mashup between Yoshi's Island and Donkey Kong Country or something like that. But yeah, I've recently completed that game fully 100%. But even then, it gets a bit more finicky at times when it comes to touchscreen mini games, or even then that almost gets to the mid bosses or the actual boss fights in general. But yeah, it's pretty good though. I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah. Not much to talk. Next up, Super Mario 64 DS, and this is a DS version of Super Mario 64. And then, for what I've played it, it's pretty nice overall from this game actually plays out. But I remember that one thing that kind of bugs for me is the D-pad control. Even then, the DS doesn't have a analog stick controls. At least in the 3DS, it does have a circle pad though, so at least that's a plus. The only differences between the N64 version and this is that it actually has, once again, extra content, like more amount of stars and all that kinds of stuff, and also some more mini-games that you can actually use from the touchscreen controls. But yeah, this game is also being re-released on the Wii U eShop version, on European version, and I might actually go ahead and tackle that gameplay through during sometime at the end of this year at some point. Yeah. Definitely gonna do that. So, yeah, it's almost basically more liking. Okay, another jump cut, thanks to, Sonic and Mario fetch me some pizza for dinner tonight. So anyways, next up, Super Monkey Ball, that Jim World. And, as far as when this game is concerned, I kind of enjoyed it, and then, basically I was a big fan of Super Monkey Ball as well as the other game series in general. So when I played it, I think I really enjoyed it. Like the level layout, it's basically it kind of reminds me like the well, I say I'm not a oh fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm just running out of breath for a second there. But so many levels do seem to heavily borrowed from the other games. Well, some of them are, but some of them aren't. Like I really like how the actual environment of this game has to offer. But hey, at least I'm quite enjoyed it. So yeah, should definitely recommend it if you actually have a DS. This is actually my second DS game I've got. Next up, Tetris DS. Not much to say. It's Tetris, and it's basically a puzzle game, which you know guys should know what Tetris is about. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Next up, Wario Master of Disguise. Oh god, to be honest, I flipping hate this game. I mean, it's basically more likely a Wario Land type of game, but it's just basically just, I don't know. But basically what you do is just basically transform into a different versions of Wario's, basically. Like, I think there's all 8 forms, or 7 if you want to actually pronounce for likely the Japanese title of the game. And this game is also being re-released on the Wii U eShop download version, if you guys want to notice that, but the only point I'm stuck on is actually Chapter 3, but whenever I get another chance of this game, then I might actually go ahead and just journey our way for this game, so I should definitely do that, so yeah, not much I could just talk about for that. Next up, WarioWare DIY, aka Do It Yourself. And I think this game is also known as WarioWare DIY Showcase. I think Showcase actually belongs to the Wii U version. But yeah, this game has also been on the DS, most notably that you can actually... What's cool about this game though, unlike any other WarioWare games, is that you can actually customize your own version of your micro games. So, it's kind of cool. And yeah, there's also some other micro games in here and there as well, so if you want to actually produce that, so yeah, that's basically what we can get. So yeah, definitely recommend it if you actually try to go ahead and customize your own micro games if you want to give this a shot. So yeah, cool. Next up, Worms Open Wi-Fi 1. I haven't really played much on it, it's just basically just a Worms type of battle game or something like that. I actually could kind of prefer the Open Wi-Fi series as far as the DS games is concerned, because I played it on my own time and I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, and this game is also being released on the PSP, but I haven't got the PSP version, so I'll go for the DS version instead. Speaking of Worms Open Wi-Fi, I also have a sequel, Worms Open Wi-Fi 2. Worms Open Wi-Fi 2 is basically, it's probably one of my favorites of the Open Wi-Fi series. But, I mean, later on in the Worms games, especially noticeable on Nintendo Wii, I kind of, like, meh about it. But for this, I actually really liked it. Like, really how I love the fact the atmosphere works out, as well as the new power-ups as far as the introduction of this game. And there's also story mode of the game, which is kind of cool. And much like the first game, that this is also being released on the PSP, but since I don't have the PSP version, so yeah. And the final game on the DS games, as far as that our collections is concerned, once again it's been the Yoshi game to last, Yoshi's Island DS. I kind of like this actually. It's probably because of how you actually have a choice between these other baby incarnations, mostly Baby Mario's mostly common. Baby Peach, I think she's actually, although I think she's made her first appearance in Partners in Time of Mario and Luigi game. Baby Wario, we haven't seen Baby Wario since in the later Mario games, but Baby DK right here, and then Baby DK will actually be making its return in Mario Super Sluggers, mostly in North America, but not in Europe. And there's also Baby Bowser, so yeah, it's kind of weird, but hey, as far as when this games can suggest, I think I actually quite enjoy this game. So, yeah, because of this little baby abilities concepts and all together. So, yeah, we enjoyed that. And yeah, this game is also being re-released on the Wii U's eShop Virtual Console version. Jeez, there's a lot of games I can talk about for the Wii U's eShop download version as far as that's concerned. So yeah, that was the Nintendo DS game collection, folks. So it's just roughly quite a few actually, just like the Nintendo 3DS. But apart from that though, the Nintendo DS is probably one of my favorite consoles, at least the handheld department, next to the 3DS. So, join us next time for the next Nintendo or next video game collection video. Not sure when exactly we're going to happen though, because there's some other bunch of playthroughs I need to finish, and some of the continuation of the playthroughs and all that. But hey, at least we can actually just deliver with that. So yeah, this is me, Luigi from the Maxi Toys. And for now, I'll see you guys sometime in the future for some other things, and hopefully, some other things as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you then. Ciao, ciao. Be the Luigi Dam.